Hello, Tashitele. Hello, everybody. I hope everyone is doing okay. Uh, okay, so as usual, we start with settling our body and mind in the present moment. Uh, Create the basis where we can make both our body and mind serviceable to the receiving of blessings of the Dharma, uh, actualizing wisdom, uh, creating merits, bringing purifications of negativities. Now take a few moments to refresh our practice of refuge in Buddha Dharma Sangha. Also, take a moment to refresh our devotion and commitment towards fulfilling uh, our Guru's holy wishes, which is to actualize Dharma practices both in learning as well as in practice by feeling the presence of our lineage Guru, like Jabja Lama Sobaram Biche, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and rest of the other spiritual gurus to whom you have a spiritual connection. Feel their presence right here with you, and all the past Kadamba lineage masters. Then all the lineage masters of the profound teaching, extensive teaching, all the way up to Guru Shakyamuni Buddha. And feel they are very pleased of your dedication, your commitment towards fulfilling their prayers, aspirations, and wishes for us, which is studying Dharma, actualizing, stages of realization in our mental continuum towards liberation. Feel all the gurus expressing much pleasing towards our conduct. Feel we are so blessed. Feel confident that with the blessings of the gurus, if one invests uh, effort, and consistency in learning, contemplation, and application of the Dharma. And surely, one will achieve the stages of qualities that all the lineage gurus possess. Now, take a few moments to mm, feel for all the sufferings that humans are facing, like such as from this pandemic crisis, and uh, and there are so many other sufferings are going on, uh, such as losing the loved one, uh, losing one's livelihood, then fear of uncertainty. Then the suffering of birth, suffering of aging, suffering of sickness, suffering of death. Then there are so many, samsaric effects that human go through, like such as from natural disasters, like very this moment, like in China, in Nepal, uh, in India, and there are many other parts of the world, experiencing uh, the heavy flood, etc. There are so many elemental disturbances around the world that facing bring so much sufferings to the people and to the animals. Then rest of the other six realm sentient beings, in particularly in the three low realm, unimmeasurable sufferings are out there, and feel for them. Then express genuine sense of compassion and love. So, in order to uh, elevate every form of suffering uh, in every single, six realm sentient beings, for that purpose, then I'm going to purify my mind, purify limitations, uh, accumulate merit, accumulate resources. For that, then I'm going to engage into the this very session of Dharma. And for that, for the elevations of the suffering of sentient being, then I'm going to dedicate the rest of my life accumulating even the slightest form of virtue and Dharma, and going to prevent or eradicate even the slightest form of negativities through our body, speech, and mind. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so we will continue from the text, which is the annexed root line of the mind and mind training. So we have gone through from the 7 headings, from 7-point headings, we have completed up to the 3rd heading, and today we will go through the 4th of the 7-point. And those of you are using the similar text, then it is on page 76. On the last line of the page 76. So before we start that, just to recap, we have covered the presentation of preliminary, the basis, which is the first of the 7 points. We have learned how important it's for us to prepare ourselves to a genuine sense of meditation or genuine sense of actualizations of the Dharma and the path. The importance for us to reflect and meditate on the common, preliminary teachings, which are the teachings on reflecting on the qualities of precious human rebirth, reflecting on the nature of impermanence and death, reflecting on the such as two truth and four noble truth, etc. We have learned that without that basis, without that preliminary basis, then whatever practice that we engage, it won't be sustainable, or it won't be solid. It is easy to, encounter interruptions and obstacles. So we have learned that. Then after that, we learned the second point, which is training in the 2 main practice, along the path until we achieve full enlightenment, which is ourself training our mind in the true altruism, the bodhicitta and emptiness wisdom. Then the third, taking adverse condition onto the path. One of way how to train our mind into true altruism, or how to develop our mind in the progress of true altruism is through the effort and through the practice of day-to-day circumstances into a path, in particular those of negative circumstances into a path. Not just in the spiritual training, but even in our ordinary life, to feel dignity, confident, and self-respect, uh, mm, and also the meaning of life. When we reflect on the you know the qualities of precious human rebirth, it really boosts our strength, our mental strength, about your life. You see, in this world, there are so many people who suffer uh, depression, in particularly in relation to low self-esteem. You know, even within Buddhist, Dharma practitioner, there are many practitioners that who suffer depression too, and mm, and there are many factors, but one of the major factor is losing hope onto your capability, and that is because of we couldn't see or realize the marvelous potential of ours, which is the 10 endowments and 8 freedoms. These are the marvelous quality that each and everyone possess. So the moment we realize that, we naturally feel that I can do it, I can manage it, so like that. Then another area that we in our ordinary life we suffer so much is because of permanent grasping. That comes in relation to when we lose our loved one and we suffer so much. When we lose something that we cherish, it could be just even a small material thing. Just losing, we suffer so much, and can't let go. And not only that, even some negative circumstances, like someone's accuse you, someone scold you, someone hurt you. It could be realizing that in the childhood time that you were abused, or in the school that you were abused, or even the working place that you were abused, and even now meeting the Dharma, but then somehow that you still hold on to that ideas, and we suffer so much of that grasping, and that grasping, very much based on the permanent grasping, you know, uh, uh, as if all this remain permanently in our mental continuum. We are unable to let go. We are unable to, progress the transition, getting out from there, because it's very much, uh, you know, the our major system is very much infused by wrong view of permanent grasping. You see, so in order for us to be free from all this, uh, permanent grasping, whether to do with the good experience or whether to do with the bad experience, is the understanding, reflecting, and meditation on the impermanent nature, and the reality of death is certain and time of death is uncertain, and then the things and the events, how nasty it may be or how attractive it may be, the relation lies in the nature of impermanent, momentarily evolving, momentarily changes. So, so when you apply that, then we can be happy. The happiness we gain from the freedom from the permanent grasping. So like that. Then, uh, you see, so so even in our ordinary life, how beneficial these teachings are, and developing the true mind, even in our ordinary life. One of the major suffering comes from self-grasping attitude and selfish attitude. Self-centered, egoistic mind. You see, so so the moment when we tends to you know. Cherish the well-being of others, through cultivation of genuine compassion, love and compassion, and bodhicitta. Uh, we naturally, uh, feel openness and feel free of the pain that we usually experience, due to the self-centered attitude. Then when we meditate on the wisdom of emptiness, or the ultimate nature of every single existent, every single phenomena, that help us to, release the chain of self-grasping attitude, the self-grasping attitude that which serve the basis of all the troubles, serve the basis of all the afflictions, all the samsara, all the delusions and the karma. You see, so the moment when we carry the wisdom of emptiness, then uh, even in our ordinary day-to-day life, we start to enjoy the freedom and genuine sense of peace and happiness. Then, of course, if we learn the technique of taking every single situation that arises in our life into a path, path meaning to develop our heart for more happiness, for more positivity, for more wisdom, and even in the common sense understanding that naturally help us to not to caught up with the circumstances. Rather, we can uh, how to say, we can view the circumstances like an event that which we view in the TV. When we watch the TV, uh, you know that which do not exist from its own side, but then if you understand that reality, any experiences that you can interpret, differently than what hallucinated mind would interpret. The hallucinated mind of interpreting, definitely lead to immense of suffering, either through attachment or either through aversion. Negative experiences because of the hallucination or interpretation of mass, develop aversion, then we suffer. If it's positive experiences comes in our way because of attachment, then the grasping, of attachment bring us suffering. You see, so rather, taking all those circumstances, in the understanding of emptiness and in the understanding of bodhicitta, then you take those into opportunity or conditional facilities to develop our heart, and that way even in our day-to-day life, that we will be happier, you see. So like that. So I think when we study these teachings, we have to categorize at least into two sections. One is the spiritual section, and the another one is realistic application of these teachings into our day-to-day life. Because the Dharma is a way of life. Dharma is the guidance to the way of life, betterment of the life. You see, so Buddhism has to be relevant to the relative life of needs. It has to be helpful in our reality lives, like that. Okay, so now, so the fourth from the 7-point presentation of lifetime practice in summary. So the lifetime practice is the 5 powers. 5 powers is the lifetime, the summary of lifetime practice. So it says, in brief, the essence of instruction is this. In brief, to present the point of the practice of lifetime, the essence of the instruction is this. Applying yourself to the 5 powers. So the 5 powers are the power of intention, power of familiarity, power of positive seed, and power of eradication, and the power of aspiration. And so you see, the actual power here, the 5 power, the actual power here is the power of the altruism, emptiness, and bodhicitta. And the so if you carry the altruism as an intention towards any action that you perform through your body, speech, and mind, and that becomes power. Any familiarity that we make in relation to any object of the five senses, we make familiarity infused by the power of the altruistic intention. And more than that, taking any circumstances or any activity in relation to five senses, take as a development of the true altruism, familiarizations of the wisdom and emptiness, familiarization of the bodhicitta and emptiness, then that becomes power. Then the positive seed here, any positivities, any virtues, any good conduct that we perform, that which infused by the altruistic intention, and which engage in the development of the wisdom and method, the bodhicitta and emptiness, then that becomes the positive seed. When it comes to any form of eradication, any form of negations, any form of purification, that whether is small purification or minor purification of wrongdoings or negativities, but then if we target to eradicate the root cause, which is the self-grasping and self-challenging attitude, then that helps. Then that becomes the power. That becomes the power. You see, when you're able to eradicate self-grasping and self-challenging attitude, or even if we want to eradicate even a minor forms, targeting that practice is to eradicate the root forms, which is self-grasping, self-challenging attitude. Then that really become worthwhile, meaningful, most powerful. You see, so in that way, then the application of any antidote to any eradication become power. Then aspiration, whatever aspirational prayers, aspirational wishes that we make, if we're able to make altruistic aspiration, then that become power, like that. So in another way, the summary of the entire mind training teaching, or the summary of the entire Buddha Dharma, is if you summarize as a practical guideline for lifetime, is for us to emerge everything into this five practice. Any action we perform, remember to perform through altruistic intention. Any virtues that we familiarize to the development of true altruism. Any virtues seed that we accumulate, or any meritorious deeds that we accumulate in accordance with the altruism. Any purification that we conduct, we utilize the antidote of the method and wisdom, and eradicate the true root, defilement. Any aspiration you make, you make the highest aspiration of altruism. So in that way, then we're able to utilize the highest level of practice in entirety of the Buddha Dharma, in particularly for the Mahayanic and the Sutrayana practice. Then five powers is the supreme practice. Five powers is the practice that which not lacking limitation from any part, any form of the practices that which taught in the sutric path. See, when you practice the five power, you practice all the sutric, teachings, all the sutras, like that. As the perfection as Mayan transparent instruction is the five powers. Alone, their practice is vital. As the perfection vehicle, Mayanic transparency's instruction is the five powers which noted above. Alone, their practice in particular is vital, that is, treat this with critical importance. So the earlier, the five powers is the, during the lifetime guidance of practice, the essence of practice. The later, the five power in relation to transferring instruction. Transferring here is the transferring our consciousness, the practice that we use at the time of dying, at the time of the transition from life and transition between life to rebirth. I was say death and rebirth, or life to life, facing the death, or in between death and the rebirth, using the five power as a tool to transfer our consciousness to the higher rebirths, favorable rebirths, like such as precious human rebirth, pure land, enlightenment, etc. In another word, from this tantric point of view, it called powa, the transparent consciousness practice, powa. So in the sutra, in the Mayanic sutra, then the powa is there's no other powa than the five power. So five power is the ultimate. Five power alone can able to, transfer our consciousness to the higher reincarnations, and therefore, for a practitioner, it is a vital. It is extremely important to take the five power as a practice at the time of dying. So, when the five power take as the practice at the time of dying, the sequence of the five power, changes a little bit in relation to the five power instruction to lifetime practice. At the time of dying, the first power we cultivate is the power of white seed. Then the second is power of aspiration. Then third is power of eradication. And fourth is the power of intention. And the fifth is the power of familiarity. For the lifetime, the first one is intention. For the death time, the first one is white seed. Lifetime, the second one is a familiarity. Death time is the aspiration. Lifetime, the third one is the power of positive seed. Death time is the power of purification or eradication. Lifetime, the power of the fourth one is the intention. Fourth one is the eradication. Then the death time, the fourth one is power of intention. Then the fifth one in the lifetime is the power of aspiration, but at the time of dying, the power of familiarity. You see, so like that. So, as a Mayanic Dharma practitioner, using this five power at the time of dying, when one is pronounced that by doctors saying that you may die within 1 week or 1 month or 1 day, whatever, or you see the sign of death is coming, or you're already on the deathbed, and then first thing is that we need to engage into accumulation of white seed, and that meaning without holding back of your possessions, whatever the resources that you have, the resources for to the survival of life that you kept, like bank balance, like clothes and jewelries and properties, etc., etc. Now you know that you are dying. Then now all these possessions, you you use as accumulation of uh, good karma, accumulation of merit, and which is by making charity. When you make the charity, you divide into two sections. Make offerings to your spiritual gurus, which are the one of the most powerful object of accumulation merit. Offer to Buddha Dharma Sangha. Offer for actualizations of holy objects. Then offer for prayers. Offer for conducting prayers, etc. Then certain the possessions. Then you can offer as appreciation, as a gift, to the who will take care of the last rite, like funeral, etc. Then give as your, could be your students, could be your brothers, sisters, your relatives, your friends, and most importantly, based on the teaching, is try to give to, try to provide, try to make generosity sense of free from the attachment bias mind. So that meaning, since it's for the purpose of accumulation of merit, to actualize the wise seed, so you make a charity to, like such as to the needy people, like like orphanage, etc. Beggars, etc. You see, so when you offer as a gift or charity, then try to have a free of this bias, attachment mind. Because if you even you give to your family member, but there's a sense of concern of why you're giving because of you're attached to them, you have some sense of attachment grasping, then you won't commit wise seed. You see, so whoever you want to give, you give with a sense of offering or sense of charity, sense of generosity, like totally letting go in the understanding of their needs. So like that. Then, so in certain teaching, emphasize about dividing into three portions. So one is offering to the object of refuge. One is offering to the one is offering to the merit field. One is offering to form of charity, and another portion is pass to the family members to take care of your final rites. Use for the funeral, use etc. Like that. So this is like wise seed. Then aspiration. So any form of try to remember whatever virtues that you have accumulated in the past. If not, at least the virtues that you just accumulated, while you accumulating white seed, then make a altruistic aspiration, like what Lama Atisha himself wrote. Chanju Semjo Rinpoche, may bodhicitta arise and those who diminish, then revive, etc. And those who already fresh, preserve the bodhicitta, then increase, etc. So made the altruistic aspiration, towards all the virtues that you have conducted in the past and the virtue you have just accumulated through the practice of wise seed, then make an altruistic aspiration. Then after that, then should provide a time to do purification practice. Just here the purification practice is letting go of any grasping that you have, any self-centered grasping or any form of grasping in relation to anger, grasping in relation to attachment, jealousy, ego, etc. Everything has to let go. Everything has to let go because death is approaching. Just matter of days. So therefore, if you needed to forgive, here um, that you forgive. Needed to let go, like even plenty of money that you have saved. You thought that you're going to live for another 200 years, but then now you know that only going to live for few days or few weeks. Then just simply let go. It's no use. There's only harm for your journey from now till your next rebirth if you hold on to it, if you attach onto it, if you worry about it, if you're concerned about it, including eradicate the grasping towards family members, grasping towards even your children's or your parents, and grasping towards your own body, your own identity. You see, there are a lot of suffering that occur due to the grasping towards your identity, grasping towards your physical body, etc. So the eradication here is, purifying them, letting go. Then if there are any negative actions that performed in the past that you remember and it's haunting you, and right this very moment, remembering the white seed as well as the aspiration in the bodhicitta and bodhicitta, then utilize whatever understanding or at least the faith in bodhicitta and emptiness. Then you let go, you purify using that the imprint or any form of virtue that you have in your heart. You understand that display as an antidote, and with this, then you are eradicating any negativities that you remembered and which is haunting you, purified like that. Then after that, then you just engage in the practice of intention. Completely free yourself from any form of grasping to any negativities of the past, because you just had the purification. You have done the purification, and also feel confident because you at least did virtuous, white seed, which you have just make offerings and make charities, etc. So even it may be just slightest one, and you feel, and even it is the slightest one, but even it is the slightest virtuous seed, but you made the altruistic aspirational prayers. So that meaning that you have accumulated immense of merit that you yourself can't even imagine it. So with that understanding, then get full confidence, then develop the intention of that. Even death comes this very moment, may it be the cause of numberless sentient beings, temporary happiness after the ultimate happiness of enlightenment. May whichever rebirth that I'm going to be born, whatever experiences that will come next moment onward, every single thing, may it be the cause of full enlightenment for self and for rest of the sentient beings. Or in another word, you actualize the bodhicitta intention. May from this very moment onward, rest of my existence, until state of full enlightenment, be the complete cause for numberless sentient beings, temporary happiness after the ultimate happiness of enlightenment. You see, so you completely entire your heart, occupied with this intention. You see, so once this intention is set, then whatever familiarity or virtue comes in your way, in here, since lifetime that you have applied the 5 power in relation to bodhicitta and emptiness, now surely, at the time of death, bodhicitta or emptiness will comes in your mind, because whatever familiarized in the past, that familiarity will be the most vivid to your heart now, isn't it? So if emptiness comes in your way, just settle your heart in the emptiness. Meditation, if bodhicitta comes in your way, just settle your heart in a bodhicitta. Or any practices related to that which will act as a condition to actualize the actual altruism in your heart, eventually. Like, let's say, compassion, not actual bodhicitta, remembering, the familiarity comes in your way, but if compassionate heart comes in your way, then you just settle your heart in there. Don't try to kind of put effort to, try to meditate on emptiness, because that is the wicked spirit. Our senses, our memory, our energy, everything is the wicked spirit. So therefore, there's no time and there's no capability for us to invest extra effort to go and grab something that which is not as familiar as any of the other virtue, even though that may be just minor compassion. You see, so therefore, even it's just a minor compassion, just settle your heart, contemplating on that. You see, or sense of emptiness of self, instead of like emptiness of phenomena, but the emptiness of self, the familiarity comes in your mind, just settle your heart in the meditation of emptiness of self. You see, so like that, or love, so since a lifetime, one of the another understanding the familiarity is familiarity in the essence practice of the altruism, which is Tonglen practice, which is referred to Tonglen practice. So you see, so in lifetime we familiarize from the five power. One of the practices, Tonglen practice, is referred to Tonglen practice. So since we have practiced Tonglen practice so much, especially using the tool of breathing, the natural breathing, remember? So there's a huge reason there why in the lifetime that we take the essence of the mind training practice in Tonglen, and not only that, is asked to use the breathing as a tool to practice the Tonglen. There's a huge reason there, because eventually at the time of dying, the last thing it lasts to the awareness of the gross mind is the breathing. That's the last thing. You see, so since the breathing is naturally go in and out, and training your mind, which is the last one, which is the familiarity at the time of death, the familiarity, in Tonglen. So when you are realizing that your breathing is getting slower and slower, which is getting closer and closer to the death, when breathing out, you offer all your benefits, virtues to all sentient beings. You're breathing in, take all the sufferings of others onto the self-charging, self-grasping. You see, so breathing, just simply remembering, because you hear you are like sounding like that, you see. So that's the last thing that you can able to, witness by your own self. You see, from the external factor, even at the time that the wind element, when the wind element dissolves, your breathing stops. You see, until the wind element dissolves, by the time the earth element dissolves, all the way up to the wind element, hearing, remembrance, memories of any virtue, non-virtue, etc. From the gross capabilities already, dying, already already losing. You see, but there's one thing that is still there's the sense of awareness is the breathing. Because that is the most habituated in our whole lifetime. Even at the time of sleeping, we are still breathing, isn't it? When we didn't breathe means we are dead. You see, so subconsciously we have the most familiarity with that. So since in the lifetime that we use that breathing as a tool to do the essence practice of the Maya and the Tonglen, then at the time of death, the last thing that which is most familiar from the from the external tool is the breathing. From the practical tool, from the practice point, from the tool of the practice, which is Tonglen. You see, so settling into the practice of familiarity, meaning settling yourself along the breathing into practice of Tonglen and die like that. So that's the familiarity. You see. So this is the earlier explanation is one of the understanding, and this is one of the understanding. You see, if you want to go literally, the familiarity, then you can just sum up by saying that familiarity here referring to the taking Tonglen practice on the breathing at the time of death. So this is a very, very, very crucial, Yeah. So if we have then in the commentaries also taught that after you order to actualize the first white seed, then also make expression of prayer and do some purification, whatever you can manage. Then after that, then you start to settle yourself in the dying bed. And by the time that you are either before setting the intention or after setting the proper intention, then you put your right hand, right palm, on your cheek like this. Then using the ring finger, block the right nostril. Then the left hand just rests on your body. Then straight, comfortably settle yourself on the bed. Then just breathe, just go along with the breathing. Then do the Tonglen practice, and that way you pass away. So if we're able to do that, then there's a great chances of utilizing the clear light into a path, getting into the clear light meditations, and because of this, well preparation from lifetime in the five power, then guiding yourself with the help of five power at the time of death, then the best practitioner, even can able to actualize, Dharmakaya at the time of, clear light. If not, will benefit us realizing emptiness or actualizing, direct realization on Buddhi, actualization of the bodhicitta realizations, if not yet. Then, even in case during the clear light, one unable to achieve, those realizations, but because of the influence to the wind channel, and that already influenced the subtle mind, subtle consciousness, then at the intermediate state, we also can able to take intermediate state into a path. Then when we take rebirth, we will take rebirth in the higher rebirths. Those capable one can able to even choose your parents, choose your destiny like that. But otherwise, at least will born in a higher precious human rebirth or born in a pure land, like that. So this practice is, extremely important. So not just like writing in the note. We really have to take a very clear picture in our mind, and we have to train because we really don't know when the death will come. You see, so like fully prepared. So our day to day, at least, try to complete the five power. At least through certain activities. Try to cover the five seats. Was a five power. Then before go to bed, train ourselves. When we go to bed, is very much like we are going to the process of death. You see, so take the five power. Before go to bed, like that. Mm, uh, um, mm. So uh, you see, like such as doing like soul offerings, uh, doing any uh, like even like taking down a water bowl offering and preparing the water bowl for tomorrow, uh, or just simply there are many practitioners at the night, they lit a light on the altar, even those very humble uh, retreaters and practitioners even in the Himalayas. They will every night try to offer butter lights like that. So an example, like making light offerings, etc., etc., or or even just preparing a dinner for your for family, or if you have children, then when you made the children go to bed, uh, with the bodhicitta intention, then you just use that action as accumulation of merit. Because of the infused by bodhicitta, then that merit, that white seed that you accumulate is the white the power of a white seed. Power of white seed. Then after that, then in front of the altar or on the bed, just sit up, then make a bodhicitta aspiration, like Chanchu Semjo Rinpoche. So whatever virtue that you accumulate, you try to remember, throughout the day, throughout the life, and in particularly, just the act of your light offering or tree prostration, before you go to bed, that as that dedicate that merit into a bodhicitta, bodhicitta, Then after that, do short Vajrasattva, was it short purification practice by application of four opponent power, by yeah, four opponent power. Then the power antidote, try to use emptiness wisdom. So then do then try to let go of any grudge that you accumulate throughout the day at the working place or with your family members or anybody. Just try to let go of everything, forgive everything. Or if there's anything that you have so much worry, concern for tomorrow onwards in life, or worry for someone else, whatever, just try to like let go, let go as if the next moment is you're going to die, like that, just there's no reason to grasp onto it, just try to let go. So in short, try to let go any form of self-cherishing and self-grasping sense of unsettled mind, try to let go of that. Then after that, then make a genuine bodhicitta intention. My from this very moment onward, whether I will wake up tomorrow morning or not, whether I'll be still alive, throughout the night or not, including the sleep, including everything, whatever happens for the rest of my life, may it be the cause of numberless sentient beings for the enlightenment, like that. Then after that, then you just lie down on the bed, using the same example of the how Buddha passed away into parinirvana. Then just maybe for a few moments, try to focus on settling your heart, focus on the breathing in and out. Then, without delaying much, then take that breathing as a Tonglen practice. Simply simplifying. Simply, when the breathing go out, all the virtues and happiness, give to all the noble sentient beings. And breathing in, they take all the miseries of the sentient beings, onto you, causes and suffering and its causes onto you, like that. So just this true thought, in and out, and try to train yourself to doze off, like that. Try to train yourself to doze off like that. You see. So if you're able to doze off without distracted by gross, grasping thoughts to do with attachment, anger, or other neutral thoughts, whatever, then it is, it is good. That means when at the time of dying, that without disturbances, that you may able to, pass your gross state of mind into the subtle state of mind. That means the subtle state of mind will be virtuous mind. You see. Whether the subtle state of mind arising of virtues or not is very much depend on the transition mind from the gross mind to the virtuous mind, which is right here. We are training before that you're aware that you're still not asleep. That very moment of the mind to the mind of that complete doze off has to be transit through virtuous mind. That means have to transit, have to doze off without disturbances, without interruption of any other thought than what you are meditating on. Tonglen, bodhicitta, emptiness, compassion, whatever it may be, So like that. So then you train 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, like that. Daytime train, and then after that, nighttime before go to bed train. Then eventually that even at the sleeping time, that until at the dream state, that you remember the exact the object of meditation that you are holding before you doze off, and that you can able to interpret when you wake up. Say, oh, in fact, I went to sleep, but in the dream state, I was doing Tonglen practice. The first thought that when you wake up, you remember that. What that means? When we die, then when the clear light when the clear light appears, the clear light you're able to take into account. Then when you awake from the clear light, either directly to the Pure Land or either you are going through the intermediate state, then when you awake into intermediate state, then intermediate state mind able to remember the virtuous imprint that you carry through the death and through the most subtle state of the mind, the clear light state. So then when you're able to remember during the intermediate state, then that will transit that virtuous mind into a virtuous mind when we conceive in mother's womb. The spirit that enter during the copulation of father mother in the joint, the drop and egg, the spirit will be virtuous spirit. The subtle consciousness that which accompanied by the virtuous familiarity. You see. So then the consciousness of the conceived baby carry a very clear clear memory or clear influence of the virtues of the past. And this baby, when come out from mother's womb, come out in the world with such a fresh mind, with so many virtues, without needing to teach. There's so much spontaneous, inborn virtuous qualities. Many of you children, you must have seen, you never taught them, kindness, compassion, but they are just born with so much compassion. Some kids, they're born with very angry, very, very angry, born angry like that. You see? So you see, so when the baby is born, then with full of imprint, inborn wisdom, inborn altruism in that baby. You see, then that baby, conditioned by the parents, conditioned by the education, conditioned by the environment into a proper, environment where there's a lot of learning about virtues, learning about bodhicitta, learning about emptiness. When you groom then that young boy or girl will be brilliant in this spiritual practice, spiritual understanding. You see, then continue to give the environment until young adults, etc., etc. So in that lifetime, this young boy or girl may be a great meditator or great practitioner, great realized beings, and within that lifetime may able to fulfill the entire legacy of enlightenment there. If not, then continue to progress. Even it takes a few countless years lifetime, but continue to benefit the sentient being, and continue to progress his or her own spiritual realizations, up to enlightenment. You see, so like that. So you see, so this is something that not just learn, but we have to practice. Otherwise, it doesn't work. You see, just no. This is a amazing, what you call the method to help ourselves, get fully prepared at the time of death. Then we don't have to worry whether there will be guru around or not, whether there will be sangha around or not, whether there will be lama around or not, whether I will die in the temple or not, whether I will die in the conducive place or not. We don't have to worry. We die in the cave, we die in the jungle, we die in the river, we die in the ocean, we die in the forest, we die on the street, we die in the toilet. Wherever we die, it doesn't matter, because these five powers is from your side. No need to depend on anyone else. You see. So wherever you die, after dying, your body, no one will keep. People will come and throw away. If you die in the cave, then no worry. It will just disintegrate there, and it's okay. If you die in the, we don't have to worry. You will die on the street. There will be a big news, but you don't have to worry about discarding your body. People will throw away or burn or whatever, isn't it? You see. So the genuine spiritual practitioner, you prepare with this, the tool of transparent consciousness. As long as you secure that, doesn't matter. The rest is really, there's a reason to let go, because genuinely there's no benefit at all. Where you're going to die, to whom would you going to die, who going to be with you, what kind of puja that your family will conduct, who going to take my money, who going to take my possession. All these are irrelevant for a true practitioner when you are when you are nearing to the death. You see. But then now here, another important thing is, true practitioner, right this very moment, is the time to prepare. Not tomorrow, not when we get 80 years old, not when we get not only when we are pronounced by doctors saying that you got this cancer, you got this sickness, you got this, and you have no time to last. The true practitioner is this very moment. Time of practice is a preparation, as if that you prepare that next moment is your death. You see. So therefore, like Kadamba Masters, if you forget to remember death, one moment, that one moment is wasted. You didn't practice. If you forget to remember death and impermanence for whole morning, the whole morning is wasted. whole morning didn't practice, even though you may be doing wonderful offering, you may be doing prostration, you may be doing this and that, sutra recitation, or amazing charity, but then forget about death and impermanent, then all those virtuous deeds didn't become genuine, genuine dharma. There's something leakage is there. It's good virtue, yes, marvelous virtue, but not the like a solid. You see, so so you see, so therefore, each night that we go to bed, we have to, as if that we're not going to get up tomorrow morning. Uh, mm, uh, you know, uh, you actualize this 5 hour as if tomorrow morning is not going to get up like that. But that doesn't mean be so depressing. Be so depressing that each night I go to bed, instead of feeling so nice on the bed, then each time I feel like, oh my goodness, I may not get up tomorrow morning. Not like that, is it? Not like that. When you engage this practice, actually you feel so much happiness. You feel confident. You feel tonight's sleep will be the best sleep because I carry these 5 powers. You see. So when you go to sleep with that meditation, actually the sleep becomes genuinely good sleep, good rest. Then the next morning when we wake up, we are infused by the effect of this 5 power. So therefore, the morning definitely going to be bright morning, bright day. Because your day going to be immensely influenced. Then you will remember the 5 powers for lifetime. 5 powers for that day will be easily able to take into account. You see. Then day to day we do that. Then how to say, we become fearless. We become fearless that where we're going to born next life. We become fearless of the death. We become fearless of losing anything. You see. Now we are full of fear of losing things. You see, full of fear of losing things. We have fear of death. You see. The moment someone say you got sickness, wow, freak out. The moment someone say that you have only some time to live, you freak out. You see. So the genuine practitioner, whenever you hear the name of death, it's like, wow, I'm going to another kind of vocation. Another like vocation in another beautiful place. Like those holiday makers, how they get excited before go to holidays, like that, isn't it? Can imagine that tomorrow morning that you're going to have a very youthful, this old body, this here pen, here egg, this and that, you need to wear glasses. The eye also getting deterioration, and knowing that tomorrow you're going to have a fresh eye, no need glasses. Wow, healthy body, and young, wow, and some more, without choice, going to be so pretty, so handsome. when you're born in carry with the effect of this 5 power, without any choice, you're going to be born as the most beautiful one, most handsome one. Like you can see all the darker dakinis. They are the effect of these practices. You see, so so you see, so if you know that tomorrow I'm going to, luckily if I die tonight, then tomorrow, wow, I'm going to have us like magnificent in every aspect, so full of joy, isn't it? Full of joy, isn't it? There's nothing to fear, isn't it? So, but anyway, I think saying is easy, but it is it is not easy for us to really to have that kind of trained state of mentality. You see, so therefore, even if there's only one night left, we have to practice this. Even there's only one night left before death, we have to practice this. You see. So you see, now those of the daily yoga practitioner, tantric practitioner, when you are well trained in this, then when you practice daily yoga, it becomes so easy. Becomes so easy because any conviction and vividness and steady practice of daily yoga only actualize on the basis of true altruism. You see, in another way, those of people who practice daily yoga, the practice in this is you are really kind of preparing, in the most perfect way. You see, when you are capable in using these five powers as a transparent one's consciousness, then using any technique from the tantra will be much more easier. Without the basis of this, the using the power practice from the tantra, either it will be lacking of concentration, either it will be lacking of intention, either it will be lacking of wisdom. If there's no wisdom, then any of the four doesn't make any effects. If there's no concentration, doesn't make any effects. So you see, so by training this every night before going to bed, when we're able to carry on the dream level, if we're able to remember even at the next day, that means our concentration is well trained, very steady, isn't it? Even in the subtle state of our continuum, that we're able to remember our practice very clearly until that, even when we awake into the gross mind can able to tell the story of the subtle mind. So that is a great achievement, you see. So this is a truly lifetime practice, the essence of the entire, Mahayanic Dharma. So now from the 7th point, the 5th point, the presentation of the measure of having trained the mind. The intent of all teaching converge on the single point, whether or not it can help subdue you. So the intent of entire Dharma, whether it's coming from Sutik point of view, whether it's coming from Vinaya point of view, whether it's coming from Tantric point of view, the common goal is to eradicate the self-grasping attitude. Common goal is to eradicate the self-grasping attitude, even for the Mahayanic path even from the Mahayanic path, to subdue the self-cherishing attitude. The main power of the main back support of the self-cherishing attitude is the self-grasping attitude, the grasping delusion, you see. So, any form of the practice that we engage, we have to bring effect in the gradual eradication of this self-grasping attitude. So that we have to watch, throughout our training, throughout our practice. Each time that you meditate, each time you learn Lojong, each time you read Lojong books, each time you listen to Dharma, and we have to check it out. Is my grasping is getting less or not? If the grasping getting stronger means, didn't read properly, didn't listen Dharma properly, didn't practice properly, didn't meditate properly. You see, then you need to without delay, you need to bring the changes. You need to know the flaws. You need to overcome the flaws. You see, so you see, so the self-grasping attitude comes in so many phases. It manifests in so many phases. Anger is the phase of self-grasping attitude. Attachment grasping is the another phase of self-grasping attitude. Jealousy is the another phase of self-grasping attitude. The low self-esteem, not having the wisdom to understand the value of the preciousness of the precious human rebirth, also another phase of self-grasping attitude. You see, laziness is also another phase of self-grasping. Laziness in the virtue, laziness in the virtue. Another phase of self-grasping attitude, you see. Lacking of patience, patient to endure the suffering to the practice. Patient to gather virtues. patient to benefit sentient beings. Lacking of all these are the different phases of the self-grasping attitude. So all the secondary delusions, 20 secondary delusions, 84,000 defilements, 84,000 effect of those defilements that comes in our system through our body, speech, and mind, all are different phases, different manifestation of self-grasping attitude, you see. So from the very beginning, and throughout our practice, whatever practice we do, we practice as a antidote, application of antidote to the self-grasping attitude. Then rest of the other phases will be eradicated. The rest of the other minor phases of the self-grasping will be naturally erased, you see, or purified, you see. So instead of, focusing on a minor, negation, rather, you focus from very beginning, to negate the main obstacle, self-grasping attitude, you see. So when you do that, then, even for the eradication of self-cherishing attitude will be easier, like that. Even the self-cherishing attitude is one of the phases of self-grasping attitude. So this talking. So intent of the all teaching converge on the single point, the self-grasping attitude. Whether or not it can help subdue you, whether immediately, able to overcome completely the root self-grasping attitude or not, you still, use the Dharma practice as, in the form of antidote to the eradication of self-grasping attitude, and that will bring the benefit to the Lojong progress. Of the two witness, are for the principal one. Of the two witness between others' speech and your own mind, train your mind by ensuring that you do not disgrace yourself, but train accordance with your aspiration. And so, in a spiritual practice, spiritual development, we ourselves have to examine within ourselves, and based on that, then if there's a limitation, then we have to acknowledge it and we have to improve ourselves. If there is a progress, rejoice onto it, and we have to progress until we achieve the ultimate goal. We cannot define our realization in the path, in the training, based on, the outer appearances that we judge by others, as an ordinary human being, that we have infused with the immense of negative influences from beginningless lifetime. So even though practicing, but then the adworldly concern, just somehow squeeze in between and put on to the way how we talk, the way how we present our physical actions, and the way how we think also. You see, the adworldly concern, so sneaky, and in many times that we are not even aware that we are putting the mask of adworldly concern. We thought that we are being honest to ourselves in our practice when we relate our body, speech, and mind to others. But then, when you investigate carefully, in fact, adworldly concern is already, in the form of, glasses, in the form of, earphone, in the form of, or whatever, flavor, so then we think that we are good, we think that because of someone says you are great, you are venerable, you are well trained, you are long time practitioner, or you have done that many retreat, that many practices, or you have so many gurus. For you it's easier than all of us because you have received so much blessings, whatever. And you thought, oh yeah, actually, possible, But then when the actual challenges of delusions comes in our way, actual challenges of other sentient beings, harm comes in our way, and we lose the coolness of the training, we lose the coolness of compassion, love, forgiveness, kindness, etc., then total disaster, total failure, you see. So like that. I remember there are some practitioner, when they're in the center, when they're in the temple, they says, wow, I think I realize emptiness, or I think I gain, great transformation. I feel happy, I feel good. But then when they go back to their family, then they report, say, no, the rest of the families are so irritating. I can't bear them. I'm just hoping that when can I leave from this place? The world is so nasty, the people are so nasty, this and that. You just can't settle peacefully yourself, wherever you may be, even though that you thought that you are great, you can able to manage when you are in the cave, when you are in retreat heart. There are many like that. So therefore, we have to carry this, the what you call the confident, the witness, the confident that signature by your own inner witness, of your own, the amount of training that you have done. So that is important. So like that. So in another way, when we go to bed alone, and we have to check ourselves, like what mentioned earlier. Can I able to manage to go to bed with the virtuous mind and able to take the dream onto the path? And when I wake up with the virtuous mind. Am I able to do this or not? You cannot ask your guru to check about that. You have to check about that. If you can do that, no worries. You see, and not only one time, two times. Every time you go to bed, you can do that. Then, you are confident. Even somebody say you only sleep, you never do prostration, you never meditate, you never read books, you only get sleep. But if you are practicing that, you approve yourself that you are capable, and that is a real approval. So like that, you see. So so I think this is very important. Always checking our mind, and guiding ourselves, to the development of the path. You see, we do more retreats because of I really need to do more retreat, not because of your gurus in the town. That's why if I don't go, then I will be like absent. Not like that. Or because of someone is doing retreat, then I should do retreat. Not based on that. You need to do retreat because of you really need it, because you still haven't trained yet. That's why you need to put more diligence in your sadhana practice, your practice of this, like 5 powers in our day-to-day life, etc. Because of you really need it. So the practice of the cultivation of bodhicitta emptiness, you have to practice for your own, at least that you able to take good care of yourself in the most difficult time, in order for you to eventually take good care of the rest of the other sentient being. So like that, you see. So that's why we have discussed earlier. There's some other classes, dividing our 24 hours into 2 sessions, meditation session and post-meditation session. So during the meditation session, cultivation of bodhicitta, emptiness in a very meditative, equipoise way. You see. Then during the post-meditation session, then we need to, our mind has to be occupied, either in the wisdom or emptiness, like illusional-like view, or either in the compassionate attitude, the bodhicitta attitude. You see, but that doesn't mean that will bring limitations or obstacle to your day-to-day chore, day-to-day works. No, every single activities of the ordinary life, interpreting, always get interpreted by the bodhicitta and emptiness mind, like that. Okay, I think I have to stop here. Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't go much, but I think, so as a homework for all of us, the 5 powers, okay? So 5 powers in the lifetime means 5 powers in our day-to-day, morning when we wake up, then we start with the bodhicitta intention, then throughout the day try to familiarize with the bodhicitta emptiness, then accumulate as much as virtues as possible which infused by bodhicitta, then do at least at the end of the day do 4 opponent power purification, or whenever you encounter any negative actions conduct from our bodhisattva mind, immediately try to purify it. And most importantly, always stay grounded, feel the ground by always application of antidote to the egoic self-centered mind. Then always make bodhicitta dedication, bodhicitta aspirations, like that. Then when we go to bed, apply the 5 powers as mentioned before. So we put effort to practice that. Not only in this week, but this is something that homework for all the time. All every day, every night. Okay. So if yourself, myself, among this group, even one person successfully able to do that, our program it become most meaningful and most successful. You see, even one person able to achieve, one person get the influence of this practice, and apply into practice and gain steadiness, confident in this practice. Okay. In another way, all of us, if we really want to be born in a higher rebirths, really want to die peacefully, really want to feel meaningful life, and this is the essence practice. Okay, so this is a homework for all of us and all the time. Thank you very much. So we dedicate our merit. Yeah. So without any doubt, we have accumulated immense merit from this session, and also the merit accumulated by past, present, future Buddhas, gurus, and sentient beings. So collectively, may this all merit be the complete cause for numberless sentient beings actualize state of full enlightenment. And also dedicate this merit specifically to those who are suffering from coronavirus, suffering from elemental disturbances, suffering from political chaos, etc. May this be the complete cause to eradicate all those sufferings and actualize peace and happiness. And also specifically dedicate this to late Loa Kim Chen, late Dariga Romanova, Mariam's late father, and late mothers of Gigi's Sam Cho Her. Then young boy Thomas Train, and also dedicate Cat Manjushri, dedicate to dog Mocha, and dedicate Nikolai. those who pass away, and may this quality merit become the cause for them to actualize higher rebirth and actualize enlightenment without delay, without interruption of unfavorable rebirths. Then also dedicate to the 17 years old young boy Benson, that heard that who is very good boy, kind boy, but who is suffering from aggressive cancer. So who is going through treatment. So may he find perfect treatment, effective treatment, and able to overcome the cancer and able to live life meaningfully. And also our quality merit dedicated for each and every one of you to have a good health, long life, prosperity, and successful in the Lojong practice, and able to be the cause of numberless sentient beings' happiness. And also dedicate to the long life of all the gurus like Sonas Dalai Lama, Geshe Lama Suvarmache, all your spiritual gurus, and all the good people, like including yourself, those who are the source of virtue, happiness, peace to your family, to the society, to the world. And also dedicating emptiness. We dedicate ourselves, then the merit, then the result that we dedicate. Everything lies in the nature of empty of inherent existence. Chanjo Sanjoran Boche Maji Banam Yuji Kiwani Bame by Gone Kondo Pevacho, Tawari Boche Maji Banam, Yuji Kiwani Bame by Gone Kondo Pevacho, Tawari Boche Maji Banam, Kiwani Bame by Gone Kondo Pevacho, Carrera Becoich, and the Pendant de Wamanichu, and Cheresa Watin. Chavesede Badu Denju to the Jamu Javet, the Jubaco to Chozo element to Bataso de Jebondo, Shaten Show. Jambe Bawaji da Jamba da Kudu Samudi and the Shinji da Kuni Chizutalo Java de Tamjera Dong to Chibe Java Tamji, Mova Chudo Daji Java, Sambo Chujera, over the Tona Pandelami, the Kezo Desitam, the Becina, Rosan Javet, and Java Beda Zoami could be Shino, Simjera one could be Samba Chuchin to the Tashi, Simjana, Geneva, Nudo, and Tajuch, the Venom on the Batado Chuan, the Television, the Tato Kujo Sumji Tashi. Okay, thank you very much. Take care. Please take good care. Bye-bye.